Why, hello, good morning, dear diary, and everybody who is following along. It's been a couple of weeks. I've been negligent in posting or recording these things, but today, Mona's out at a dentist's appointment, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to sit down and have a chat about mental health. So it's been very interesting couple of days, couple of weeks since I last made a video. Today, the date is May 11th. I can't remember when the last time that I made a video was, but I think it's at least 2.5 to 3 weeks ago. So this is just for you to be able to gauge the progression. I've been feeling very on edge lately, slightly agitated, a lot more anxious than I've ever felt before in my life over small things. Work deadlines, projects that normally would have made no difference to me. A couple of days ago, I was over budget by $300 on a project which was approximately worth maybe 150,000 or something like that. And I nearly broke down it's been about that's never happened to me before. Something like $300 and $100,000, and it nearly cracked me. So that was one indication that I needed to see somebody. I need to talk to somebody and tell them what's going on with me. And the other thing is, the other day I made myself a meal and I sat down to have this meal, and I got myself a drink, I got myself my sauces, I got myself my bread and everything, and I was ready to start. And then as soon as I sat down and I picked up my knife and fork, I realized that I hadn't brought ice with me. I teared up and nearly sobbed because I had forgotten to bring ice. And I was sitting literally a meter away from the freezer when this happened. So yeah, I thought to myself, okay, this is really weird, and definitely need to talk to somebody. So I've been seeing a wonderful therapist, and it's been interesting. So I wanted to share that regardless of how much it looks like you've got everything together, inside is a different beast. And what's simple on the outside doesn't necessarily mean that what's on the outside. No, it's simple on the outside. Let's do this again. What seems to look nice and normal and simple on the outside doesn't necessarily reflect what is inside. And even though most of the time I feel comfortable and okay, and I don't have a lot of things that are popping off in my mind, I do notice and realize that I'm a lot more on edge, and I'm a lot more, what's the word for it, a lot more jumpy and short-tempered. That's what I want to say. I'm a lot more short-tempered. So yeah, regardless of what everything that's going on, I think that that's a big deal. So I'm going to take my feelings and my thoughts and my behaviors into closer scrutiny over the next couple of weeks, and I'll let you know how that goes. One of the reasons I'm doing these things is hopefully, whether I'm here or not, for other people to take a look at what I've been going through during this entire time with my lymphoma, from the time that I was diagnosed, hopefully through to, as long as I can carry these things out. And one thing that is true is that it looks different for everybody. And the way I'm dealing with it and the actions that I'm taking are different than the way other people deal with it and how it impacts them. For me, one of the interesting things, one of the things that I'm thankful for and grateful for, is that it hasn't had physical impact on my life just yet. I know that I've got a couple of months before I need to start treatment, and in that time, it's not forced me out of a routine yet. So I'm thankful for that. But mentally speaking, it has put a lot of pressure on me, and there's a lot of pressure for me to prepare, to do things, and so it's tough, and it's tough for people around me as well, my family, my wife, the kids, and I try to be mindful of that. The kids don't really know what's going on yet. I'm looking for a good program that'll help me bring them on board. Darian, my 7-year-old, is a person who's extremely emotional, so I think it'll be difficult for him to grasp what's going on. He is 7 after all, but he does get very emotional. He was watching the Minecraft series a couple of days ago, and in one of the episodes, the pig Ruben died. I was out and I came home, and he walks up to me as soon as I walk in through the door. He's like, "You remember Ruben the pig? He died." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that he died." It's like, "Yeah, I got emotional. I cried a little." I'm like, "That's perfectly fine. Thank you for letting me know that you got emotional and cried." So he's a very sensitive soul, and I worry about him and how he would take the news. Even though I am not worried about not being here anytime soon, I know that there's going to be therapy, and I'm going to come out of therapy, and everything's hopefully potentially going to be okay. The thought of him knowing that there's something wrong while I'm going through therapy is difficult, because I know that he's going to be worried and he's going to be really, really emotional about it. So that's one of the things that I haven't dealt with yet, but I know I have to eventually deal with. I want to talk a lot more about mental health, but at the same time, I'm thinking about stopping this here for now, and then doing more at a different time. But I cannot stress how important the way you feel is, and not knowing how you feel. And that's perfectly fine, because I find myself lost. I find myself confused. I find myself not really accepting at times of what's going on. And then I find myself completely at ease with it as well. So it's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster. That's what it is. Yeah. That's where we are today. I wanted to share that, and I'll try to jump on again in a little while and tell you more. See you on the other side.